YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWAH. Okay, morning. Shalom. This is your brother Obadiayahing. And today, before I head out to work, I want to try to get something done for you. Today, what we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about people who can be considered to be Judas Iscariot type individuals, because the topic is Obadiayahing, the warning of beware of Hebrew Israelites and Hebrews in general, and anyone else that is a vessel of dishonor, that the Father has deemed so a vessel of dishonor for breaking his law, statutes, and commandments, as Judas Iscariots. Okay, so first, before we start, let's break down who Judas and Iscariot is, because that's important. Jonathan, Shalaki, my son. Judas Iscariot was one of the 12 apostles, notorious for betraying Yahushua. His surname is more probably a corruption of the Latin Sicarius, murderer, than an indication of family origin, suggesting that he would have belonged to the most radical Jewish, some of whom were terrorists. Isn't that interesting? How about that? The Latin word for Iscariota is spelled Iscariota. Iscariota. From the Greek, of course, they got Iscariotus, Iscariotus, and that's Iskariotes. Said to be from Hebrew, Iscarioth is spelled Ishquyoth, man of Keroth, a place in Palestine, meaning traitor. Okay? So, therefore, what we're talking about is he is a traitor, and he's calls himself a traitor. And basically, this is what we're dealing with. Break down a little bit more of the information. We got, all right, he was a son of Simon. Simon was his father of Judas. The father of Judas was a man named Simon. Simon lived in Bethany and was also known as Simon the leper, or the leper. Isn't that interesting? Whether he was a leper at the time or had been healed by Yahushua is not stated. Simon was a member of the Pharisees. More than likely the crooked Pharisees, not the ones that were of righteousness, because you had both types. Okay? All right. What does the man of Keroth, Kerioth, mean? It's a noun, the surname of Judas, the betrayer of Yahushua, Mark chapter 3, verse 19, chapter 14, verse 10 and 11. A person who betrays another, a traitor. Okay, and he is generally identified with Thaddeus, is also vigorously called Jude or James, Jude, Thaddeus, Judas, Thaddeus, or Libius. He is sometimes identified with Jude. The brother of Yahushua was clearly distinguished from Judas Iscariot, the apostle who betrayed Yahushua prior to his crucifixion. Okay, so this is just to give you a definition of Iscariot and Judas. So once we understand that, now we can kind of get into talking about who are these Iscariot type people. Are they going to be coming out? And are they out now? Yes, they are, and what their particular position is. Shalaki, give me a second here. Shalaki. Sorry about that. Sometimes parental duties have to be applied. especially when you're trying to do something. You know, they're out of school, and because everybody's afraid of their god Corona, caveman coronavirus, so they're freaking out, and they got us home with all our children instead of having them going to their wicked schools that are teaching them lies any damn way. But anyway, Shalaki, I digress. Please forgive me. Okay, we're going to go ahead and go back to what I was saying. Obadiayahing the warning to beware of Judas Iscariot type individuals and people who are popping up and cropping up and coming out of the woodwork, so to speak, right now, which is what they're doing. And it's very apparent that this is what's happening. Just to go on to a point about the levels of Iscariot activity, traitor activity, murderous activity, that's all labeled through the definitions, is what we see and we're dealing with right now in this world in reference to the agenda to transmutate people by affecting their metabolism and their organic makeup as was created by the Most High YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASH. And the thing is, affecting us in this way, and all the people in this way, is another type of sword that is being presented in a violent fashion. Because anytime you are going to affect the life expectancy of a people through an inorganic methods that are of dishonor to the creation of the Most High, you are undoubtedly a traitor to the Most High. You are a murderer in reference to what you're doing to these people. And they will rise up against you because the Most High will bring it so. Because he's going to bring everything to light. All the things that the wicked do in the dark, which is they love the dark because that's where they live, in the dark. They live in darkness in terms of their deeds and their ways. So everything that's in hidden in the darkness will be brought to the light. And it's coming out fast. So to rush to try to stop the truth from coming out, Esau Edom in his wickedness, he is going to start diminishing a lot of the resources and diminishing a lot of the applications that we use in reference to communication, in reference to what we use to transportate, in reference to what we use to function as viable human beings created by the Most High to serve him and to help each other who are the chosen of the Most High. He will eventually get to that point where he will be doing that. And he's already started the process, so you can see that kind of happening right now. Okay, so let's get into some scripture here and talk about this, because I don't want to take too much time, because I do have to get out and get to work on time today, and I want to make sure I make it on time. Okay, so let's first break out and go into the book of Luke. We're going to start off there, and book of Luke, and we're going to do chapter 22 and verse 1 through 6 is what we're looking at. All right, so get your sword out, your Bible sword, not one of Esau's swords, but Bible sword. Okay, Luke 21, and we're going to start 1 through 6. Okay, here we go. All right, 21. And he looked up, and he saw the rich man casting shlaki, their gifts into the treasury. And he saw also a certain poor widow casting thither 2 mites. And he said, of a truth I say unto you, that this poor widow hath cast in more than they all. For all these have of their abundance cast into the offerings of Yahawah. But she and her purity hath cast in all the living that she had. And some spake of the temple, how it was adorned with goodly stones and gifts. And he said, 6, as for these things which ye behold, the days will come in which there shall not be left one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. So clearly you can see that this is what we have going on right now, because the Most High is shut down everything that they got going. He shut down their monetary system. He shut down their political system. He shut down their education system, and he shut down their health system. All of that has been shut down because he's showing you that he is the power and there is no other. Okay? All right, then I'm going to also pull 8 real quick. He says here, and he said, take heed that ye not be deceived, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach, and the time dwelleth near. Go ye not therefore after them. So this is what we have going on. They have basically pushed people who do not know the Most High away from whatever belief systems they have. They have performed a Iscariot. They have become traitors to the Most High's power and the Most High's sovereignty. They pushed people away by using fear, and the people have bought into the fear. And from the fear that they've bought into, now they are not worshiping the Most High in any capacity, in any way, shape, or form, and they've been locked out of their faith, which is horrible. Okay. Next one we're going to go to is Romans chapter 9, and we're going to go to verse 21. So go to Romans with me, chapter 9, verse 21. Okay. That's where we're going next. Oh, I just had it. There we go. And we're going to see, because what we're doing is we're definitely speaking in terms of how the Iscariot type activity is being propagated throughout the earth right now, and it's very prophetic in terms of how it's all coming down. And a lot of people don't realize it, but that's what we're dealing with. Okay, verse 21 on chapter 9 of Romans, it says here, hath not the potter power over the clay of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor, another unto dishonor? And so the Most High is in control of determining who is going to operate within his spirit and truth, and then who, of course, is going to be a vessel of dishonor and a vessel of honor. You know, I went over this particular type of explanation before when I went to First Kings chapter 22, and I spoke to you in reference to how the Most High had all the host of heaven on his right and his left, and he asked for volunteers to see who was going to go and make Ahab, who was the king of Israel, the northern tribe at the time, fall. And so obviously a vessel of dishonor stepped up and decided to be a lying spirit into the mouths of all his prophets that Ahab had available, which of course he was locked in with Jezebel and with that witch and everything that was going on, through poisoning the whole tribe of Israel. I mean, the whole kingdom of Israel in general. Primarily what ended up happening is all those prophets were giving a lying spirit that the Most High authorized to happen because they were outside of his law, statutes, commandments, and out his will. And as he said here, 21, hath not the potter, who is the potter, the Father, over the power over the clay of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor and another unto dishonor? So we can clearly see how the Most High has made that decision, and those decisions have been made. See, a lot of people think, oh, well, no, I'm going to be all right because, the Most High going to come and he's going to save me. Well, he's made choices and decisions on who he's going to save and who he's not going to save, so that's already been done. So if you think that you're going to slip in under some guise of an addendum or an amendment in terms of you claiming fake white Jesus, that ain't going to fly. I'm telling you right now, that ain't going to fly. Next, we're going to 2 Timothy. I'm going to go to chapter 2, and we're going to hit verse 20 on 2 Timothy. Second Epistle of Timothy, chapter 2, and we're going to hit verse 20. Okay, so meet me there. Here we go. But in a great house there are not only vessels of gold and of silver, but also wood and of earth, and some to honor and some to dishonor. So again, still sticking with that particular definition and understanding of Iscariot and how Judas was a vessel of dishonor that the Most High allowed, of course, Satan to slip in to Judas and in doing so, he performed his vessel of dishonor obligation, as he has been bred and made for that purpose. And so clearly that's what happened with Judas Iscariot. And so you can see where the Father is showing vessels of honor and vessels of dishonor. And a lot of people don't get that or don't understand that. But that's what actually happened. All right, next we're going to Lamentations. And we're going to do Lamentations chapter 3, 30, verse 32 and 33, and we'll also pull 37. Okay, so let's do that. Lamentations, okay, and we are at chapter 3, okay? And we're going to pull, like I said, from 32 through 33, all right? But though he cause grief, yet will he have compassion according to the multitude of his mercies. For he doeth not afflict willing, nor grieve the children of men. So the Most High, he will chastise, and he will correct you. If he loves you, obviously he's going to correct you, and he will correct you in the manner that he knows best for you. Sometimes that correction can be extremely harsh, and it can be to the point where you could be gone. He could take you out of here. But in most cases, if you're trying to do the best you can to follow his law, statutes, commandments, as well as to honor and respect the name of the Most High, and to do what is necessary to be within his good standings and not be a vessel of dishonor, then chances are this will not happen to you. As he said, but though he cause grief, yet will he have compassion according to the multitude of his mercies. For he doeth not afflict willingly, nor grieve the children of men. And of course, we'll pop right down to verse 37. Who is he that saith, and it cometh to pass, when the Lord power YAHAWAH commandeth it not? In other words, you got a lot of people in this particular situation right now with this caveman coronavirus. And this speaks specifically to that. Who is he that saith, and it come to pass, when the Lord commandeth it not? They're bringing out and telling people that this is what's going to happen, that's what's going to happen, in reference to the effects of this particular process that they have out here now that's wicked and that has been cursed by the Most High, and they call it Corona. Okay, but again, if it's going to come to pass, it's truly up to the Most High's hand that he decides to do it. But they don't have any power to do this. They have authority to bring certain things in informational capacity to you, but they don't have any power to actually make something happen. If the Most High don't sanction it, then it ain't going to happen. You see, a lot of people don't understand that, and they don't get that part of it. And they think that at some point in time, somewhere along the line, that the Most High gave these wicked Edomites on this world the power to make things happen and to control things, but that's not the case at all. He has not given them that level of power. He's given them some authority to bring information and present it like a diagnosis. A doctor can do a diagnosis, but a doctor doesn't heal anybody. The healing comes from the Most High himself. He's the one that heals. He makes someone. He can make someone sick, and he can heal someone. He can make someone alive, and he can make someone dead. It's his choice. He makes the total choice in that manner. Okay, next we're going to go to Job chapter 1, and we're going to read 1, and we're going to go chapter 1, and we're going to do 1 through 10, okay, right here, all right? Because that's the next part of it. It talks about what has not. Okay, let's read it. Job chapter 1. Shalaki, make sure I got it. Yeah, okay. There was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job, and that man was perfect and upright, and one that feared YAHAWAH, okay, and eschewed evil. He hated evil, right? And there was born unto him 7 sons, 3 daughters. His substance also was 7,000 sheep, and 3,000 camels, and 500 yoke of oxen, and 500 she-asses, and very great household, so that this man was the greatest of all the men of the east. And his son went and feasted in their houses. every one his day, sent and called for their 3 sisters to eat and drink with them. And it was so, when the days of their feasting were gone about, that Job sent and sanctified them, and rose up early in the morning, and offered burnt offerings according to the number of them all. For Job said, it may be that my sons have sinned and cursed Yahawah power in their hearts. Thus did Job continually. Now there was a day when the sons of Yahawah came to present themselves before Yahawah, and Satan came along also among them. And Yahawah said unto Satan, whence cometh thou? And then Satan answered Yahawah the Lord, and said, from going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. Okay, now that kind of tells you right there that, you know, he's there. Now, did he fall? Well, he was allowed to fall based on what limitations the Most High afforded him to go where he went to. He couldn't do anything on his own unless the Most High approved of it. Now, I know the Most High said, whence cometh thou? Whence cometh just tells you that he knows where he came from. It's just that he just want to get him to confess the fact that this is what he was out there doing. Okay? All right. And 8, and Yahawah said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and an upright man, that feareth Yahawah and eschewed evil? And then Satan said to Yahawah, and said, doeth Job fear for naught? In other words, he's asking him, does he fear for naught? In other words, because he's so protected, does he have not fear? See, Father protects us, but man, we fear him because we know, we got a very good idea what he's capable of. We know what we've been through. So we certainly fear the Most High, and put it for that. 10, hast not thou made a hedge about him, and about his house, and about all that hath on every side? Thou hast blessed the work of his hands, and his substance is increased in the land. Okay, 11, but put forth thine hand now, and touch all that he hath, and he will curse thee to thy face. No, he won't, but that's what Satan was trying to perpetrate and perpetuate. Okay, 12, and Yahawah said unto Satan, behold, all that he hath is in thy power, only upon himself put not forth thine hand. So Satan went forth for the presence of the Lord. And there was a day when his sons and his daughters were eating and drinking wine in earliest brother's house. So basically, the Most High was protecting him, and he had a hedge around him because he was a vessel of honor, not a vessel of dishonor. And by him showing he was a vessel of honor, he was protected. And clearly, the vessels of dishonor and the negative and evil spirits can tell who is a vessel of honor and who's not. They have no problem with distinguishing that. They know who's who, okay? Let's not get that twisted. Okay, now we're going to pop back to Luke 22, and we're going to do verse 31 through 32. I should have stayed right there where I was at Luke, right? Now I could have just jumped right back to it. But it's fine. We'll go right back to it. Okay, 22. Luke 22 and 31 through 32. Luke 22, 31 through 32. Okay. Got it. All right. 21, 31 through 32. So likewise, when ye see these things come to pass, know ye that the kingdom of Yahawah is near at hand. Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass away till all be fulfilled. Now see, this is a very, very important thing that I want to just expound on for a minute. When the Most High says, when you see all these things happen and they start coming to pass, know that the kingdom is near. Now what things is he talking about? He's talking about the prophecies that are happening. You got prophecies that are happening hand over fist, and they're just rolling and rolling past. like never seen before. I mean, I remember, you know, in my younger days, we would see a prophetic situation happen every now and then, almost like a generation. One or two would happen within the generation, maybe one. But very seldom do we see so many happening right back to back, back to back, back to back, like we're seeing right now. That's very important. It's a major sign in reference to what's going on, because as the Most High is speeding things up, um, Edom is trying to cover it, and he can't even cover it fast enough. It's like as soon as he tries to cover something, shoom, the Most High brings something else out expediently and real quick that comes out and then creates the process that continues to move forward. As I said before, the transitional prophetic process, that TPP. And that's what we have happening here. Okay, let's continue to move on. All right, the next one we're going to go to is Revelation chapter 12, verse 10. So let's go there and get that next scripture. All right, here we go. Okay, Revelation 12:10. All right. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our power and YAHAWAH power of his Hamashiach Shalaki. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accuses them there before our power day and night. Okay, so we can see this is what the Iscariot type effect is. Judas Iscariot accused Yahushua, Hamashiach, and he accused him in many different platforms. He accused him to the other apostles in reference to his application to dealing with the Romans and dealing with what's going on with the tribes in Judea and what was going on in that area. He accused him of being weak and not willing to fight and go against the Romans. There was a lot of accusations going on here, and so this was that Iscariot type, that process, that attitude, that persona, that particular vessel of dishonor that he was operating under and as. Okay. Next, we're going to go to Genesis chapter 50, verse 20. Genesis 50:20. Go with me. Okay. Almost there. All right. Wow, we're almost there. Here we go. 50:20. Okay. All right. Genesis 50, verse 20. But as for you, ye thought evil against me, but Yahweh meant it unto good, to bring it to pass as it is this day, to save much people alive. So Most High has a plan to save a remnant of his people, even though we have a lot of traitors and murderers and Iscariots that are among us and going forward to try to do everything they can to thwart the Most High's prophetic plans, but that's not going to happen, and there's no possible way they're going to be able to accomplish that. So we need to be alert and staying within the Most High's blessings and making sure that whatever we do, we honor what he wants done. And as long as we continue to do that and stay under his tutelage and his coverage, we will be protected. And that's what the Most High said, and he can't lie. All right, we're at Luke chapter 12 and 2. For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known. So the Most High is telling you he's got it all covered, and he's protecting it, and he's bringing it out, and no one is going to thwart that particular process that he has going on. And you know, even though they will try and they will bring everything they can to the table to get you to fall, you have to stay strong. You got to stay within his truth. You got to stay within his mercies and his grace. And that's where you stay, why you stay in his word, because that's what brings that. Okay? Next, we're going to Hebrews chapter 10, and we're going to read 31. Okay, on chapter 10. All right? 31 says, it is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power, the living God. Man, this is something I'm trying to tell you. People are afraid of what man is saying to them about a virus, what man is saying to them about a plague. I'm telling you something, the Most High controls everything, all right? And falling into his hands, he can do more to you than any kind of plague, anything man could bring, any kind of corona, caveman virus, it don't matter. You don't understand. He controls everything. What he determines is what will happen. If he says you're going to get this, you're going to get that. If he says you're not, then you're not. You got to understand this, man. That's why it says here. I'm going to read that again because that is so important. It says here, okay, chapter 12, Shalaki, we're reading Hebrews, chapter 12, 31, all right? We need to understand that this is very, very important, and most people don't get it, all right? Hebrews chapter 12, verse 31. Shalaki, I just had turn my page, 31. All right. Shalaki, I'm sorry. I said Hebrews chapter 10, verse 31. Forgive me. It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power, of the living God. It is a fearful thing. Why is it a fearful thing? Because, see, the Most High can destroy not only the body, but he can destroy the soul, the spirit, the body. He can think you right exactly out of existence and any and everything that has anything to do with you. Just like that. So, I mean, is that not fearful? I mean, come on, really? You need to understand that. Exodus chapter 7, verse 3 and 4 is where we're going next. All right? So go with me. 7, 3 and 4. And I will harden Pharaoh's heart and multiply my signs and my wonders in the land of Egypt. But Pharaoh shall not hearken unto you, that I may lay my hand upon Egypt and bring forth mine enemies and my people and the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt by great judgments. Okay, so basically you can see that the Most High is laying his hand upon the hearts of the wicked, and they don't want to relinquish their grip and their stranglehold around us and our people. And because they are doing that, the Most High is showing his power on both sides, because not only is he hardened heart of Pharaoh and made him for that purpose, but he's done the same thing to the people in this wicked kingdom here. And in terms of letting them let us go, they don't want to do that. And also in conjunction with that, he's determining our salvation, and he's determining when we will be free. No one else. You can't just follow anybody. All of the leaders that we've ever tried to go with or follow, they have been taken down. The Most High didn't call them vessels of dishonor, but a lot of the things they did were dishonor to him, because he's the one that is going to deliver us, not them. Not Marcus Garvey, not Malcolm X, not Martin Luther King, not any of them, okay? Frederick Douglass, you go down the line. The Most High is going to deliver us. That's why we're not fighting against flesh and blood with weapons and things of this nature, because we don't have to. The Most High is our power. He will determine how things are going to be taken and how they're going to be dealt with. Okay? All right, that was Exodus chapter 7, 3 through 4, down through 5. Next, we're going to go to Romans chapter 9. We're popping some definitely precepts here. We are popping you some precepts big time. So just get ready. Get your sword, Bible out so we can do it. Chapter 9, and we're going to hit 17, and it says, For the scripture saith unto Pharaoh, Even for this same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might show my power in thee, and that my name might be declared throughout all the earth. See what I'm saying? That's what I was just saying. The Most High raises up whoever he wants to, and he brings whoever he wants to, and he uses whoever he wants to in whatever way he chooses to. And he does this to show his might, his power to the world. And that's exactly what he has done. And nobody's going to thwart his particular his salvation or his plan. You're not going to stop it You may think that you can, but you can't. But you can try, but it ain't going to work. Okay. Okay. Next, we're going to Second Chronicles. We got a few more to do before we finish up here. But I know we're getting late here, but I'm gonna go until the Most High tell me to stop. Okay. Second Chronicles chapter 20 is what we're going to, and we're going to read 22 through 23. 20 and 22 through 23. So go with me. Second Chronicles 20, 22 through 23. Okay. All right. I want to get my highlighter here. I like this one here. Let me get my highlighter. All right. And it says here, all right. And when, Shalaki, and when they began to sing and to praise the Lord Yahweh, set ambush against the children of Ammon, Moab, and Mount Seir, which were come against Judah, and they were smitten. For the children of Ammon and Moab stood up against the inhabitants of Mount Seir, utterly to slay and destroy them. And when they had made an end of it, the inhabitants of Seir, every one helped to destroy another. Okay? All right, so you see that? So basically what Most High is saying here in this particular situation, he had the Ammonites, the Moabites, all go after Esau, which was coming against Judah, and they were smitten. And then he had the children of Ammon and Moab stood up against the inhabitants of Mount Seir, utterly to slay and destroy them. And when they had made an end of the inhabitants of Seir, everyone helped to destroy another. So this is what he's doing now. He's allowing them, Esau being taken down, and as Esau's being taken down, Esau is also, the ones who are taking him down are being compromised, and they also are being taken down, each other. They're fighting against each other. He said he's going to put Egyptian against Egyptian. So we can see that that is the case in what's happening here. Okay, now we're going to go back to Romans again, chapter 9. So there's quite a few precepts in Romans, and then we're going to get into Matthew here. And we're going to go to 9, and we're going to read 18 here on 9. Okay, so it says here, therefore he have mercy on whom he will have mercy, and whom he will harden, he hardeneth. So the most harsh Shalaki, he will harden it. He can determine to deal with whomever he wants in whatever way he wants, whether it be a heathen or whether it be a chosen one. He's no respecter of persons. If the Most High decides that he wants to use this person as a vessel of honor or dishonor, he'll do it. He'll have mercy on who he will have mercy, and he'll have honor on who he wants to have honor on. You can't question him. You cannot judge his prerogative or question his prerogative and what he's doing. And a lot of people do that. Why did this person have to go? What did they do? Da da da. You know, you err majorly. You make a major problematic situation for you and your family when you do this. Do not question the Most High. He decides, and what he decides is his decision. If he decides to change that, intercessory is available. You could talk to Yahawashi. You can pray and ask the Most High in Yahawashi's name, will he reconsider a judgment call or reconsider a certain situation? He may or he may not. It really depends on the way the Most High feels about it. Okay, that was Romans chapter 9, verse 18. Now we're going to Matthew. We're going to do quite a few with Matthew here. We're going to go to Matthew and start at 26. All right. So let's get 26, 23 through 25. 26, 23 through 25. Okay. And he answered and said, he that dippeth his hand with me in the dish, the same shall betray me. See, he's talking about Iscariot, Judas. The Son of Man goeth as it is written of him, but woe unto that man whom the Son of Man is betrayed. See, woe to Judas, right? Judas, right? It betrayed. It had been good for that man if he had not been born. 25, okay? And he says here, then Judas, which betrayed him, answered and said, Master, is it I? He said, and Yahushua said unto him, thou hast said. Okay, in other words, you know it's you, and you just confessed, okay? Because you know who you are. All right, next we're going to go to 27, Matthew 27, and we're going to do 3 and 5. Okay, Matthew 27, 3 and 5. Then Judas, which had betrayed him, when he saw that he was condemned, repented himself, and brought again the 30 pieces of silver to the chief priests and elders, for saying, I have sinned in that I have betrayed the innocent blood. And they said, what is that to us? See thou to that. In other words, you go take your own life, you did it, and that's what you get. Okay, so you can see how they cared about him. They didn't care about him at all, right? Okay, and then we're going to go to the book of Acts here. All right, Acts, we're going to do Acts chapter 1 and 18 and 19, okay? So Acts 1, go with me, go with me. Acts 1, 18 and 19, okay. Now this man purchased a field with a reward of iniquity, and falling headlong, he burst asunder in the midst of all his bowels gushed out. And it was known unto all the dwellers at Jerusalem, inasmuch as the field is called in their proper tongue, Al-Qadama, that is to say, the field of blood. So that's what happened with Judas in terms of how he repented and then the judgment. See, a lot of people don't get this. You can repent to the Most High, but once you plant a seed, that seed, no matter what kind of earth you put it in, if you put it in earth, once the seed gets in the earth, it could, if it's bad earth, if it's good earth, it's a good chance that seed can still sprout and come up, because it's not going to stop the fact that what you did can come back. Now, you can be forgiven, but that doesn't mean you won't make a recompense or payment for it. A lot of people get that confused. They think that, oh, well, I repented and I claimed fake white Jesus, and, you know, now all that goes away and all's forgiven and we don't have to pay for anything. No, that's not true. The Most High said in his word that the iniquities of the fathers to the third and fourth generation will come back. So you will pay, even though you may get forgiveness in terms of the spiritual position, but you planted that seed. And that's why he said, you know, you reap what you sow, you know, so it's going to come back, right? Okay, next we're going to go to Exodus, and then we only got about 2 more, and then we'll be done. Okay, all right, so we're going to Exodus chapter 32 and 34, all right? So let's get that. Exodus 32 and 34, all right? Exodus chapter 32 and 34. Here we go, Shalaki, we got it. Exodus 32 and 34. Therefore now go, therefore now go, lead the people unto the place of which I have spoken unto thee. Behold, mine angel shall go before thee. Nevertheless, in the day when I will visit their sin upon them. See, you're not getting away with nothing. The Most High is going to judge it. You may think that you could just slip by, or that he forgot, or, you know, we repented, so now we don't have to be judged. And, you know, the thing about Esau Edom, which is really crazy, he believes that he could do all the wicked that he wants to do to everything on the earth, and then he could ask for forgiveness, and then if he has to pay for a judgment, that he could choose his own punishment. No, you can't. Were we able to choose our own punishment? No, we could not. You don't get to choose your own punishment. You can't go kill everything on the planet and then turn around and try to say we want to go Hillsong and sing all praises to fake white Jesus, and then let us go without any judgment. And then, you know, if we do have to be judged, let us choose what's going to happen. No, the Most High ain't doing that. He's out. You going to pay just like we had to pay. Okay, now we're going to 2 Chronicles chapter 7, and then one more in John 17 to close it out. 2 Chronicles chapter 7, and we're going to read 14, and it says, "If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and I will forgive their sin and I will heal their land." Okay, now let's break it down a little bit. Okay, if my people, which are called by my name. Now, the people who are calling on fake white Jesus, that's not the Most High's son's name. Okay, his name is Yahawashi and Father is Yahawah. So, as you know, there are people who have the name Yah in their name. And if you're called by his name, check it out. He says, "If my people who are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven." So when he says he will hear from heaven, the Most High is on his throne. He delegates responsibility for those to go do the work that they have to do for him. He doesn't have to get off the throne. He can tell Yahawashi, angels, and whoever, go get this done, go get that done. He don't have to move, because if he has to move off his throne, oh, Father, if he got to move off his throne, you can forget it. Because that's serious. That is major, major, major if he got to move. You don't want that. Okay, but call by his name. If you are people called by his name, then since you know his name, then that means you can call upon him by his name. Because if you're called by his name, you got to know his name. So you got to know his right name. You know, if you go to Proverbs chapter 4, Proverbs chapter 4, verse 30, he tells you the Most High's name. And if you know his name, you know his son's name, if you can tell. It's not Yeshua, it's not, Ahaya, it's not Yahweh, that's not his name. There's no people who are named that. There's no people named after Yeshua or Ahaya or that's not it. His name is Yahawah. So call by his name, then he will, and turn from their wicked ways, and he will hear from heaven, and he will forgive their sins, and he will heal their land. Well, are you seeing land being healed? No, because the people who are called by his name aren't seeking him and repenting and moving away from their wickedness. Are you saying healing happened to the people as well as the land? No, because they don't know who he is, and they're not calling upon who he really is. So therefore, if they don't know him, they can't call him. If you don't know who it is you're calling, you can't call him. Okay, it's just real simple. I mean, how complicated is that? Okay, let's close out. We're going to go to John. We're going to go to the book of Yehukanan, John, and we're going to close out in chapter 17, which is one of my favorites because it dispels John 3:16 to the point of deception that a lot of fake white Jesus believing religious practitioners always bring in about, for God so loved the world, and they don't understand the world we talk about is the world of Hebrew Israelites. It's not talking about everybody in the world. Okay, so let's go to 17 and we're gonna read 12. I'm feeling kind of good. I might just go ahead and give you all that, but let's get 17 and let's stay on course. No, okay, Father, the Spirit just said give it. Okay, because we should, and He wants it, then we're gonna do it. All right, so let's go 17, and we're gonna read 17 on down to what we were talking about through 12, but we'll finish it there. But let's start at the top. This way we get real good clarity in what we're talking about here. So this way we'll know who those chariots just above the atmosphere are going to be sent down for and going to be looking to take care of. So let's get ready for this, okay? These words spake who they ignorantly called Jesus, Yahawashi, and lifted up his eyes to heaven, okay, and said, Father. So that automatically gets rid of the Trinity, okay? The Yahawashi is lifting up his eyes to heaven to speak to the God above all, the Father, okay? The hour is come, glorify thy Son, see, that thy Son also may glorify thee. So see, There you go. He can be talking to himself, so he's talking to the Father. Okay, that kills your Trinity crap. As thou hast given him power over, see, who gave who power? The Father gave Yahawashi power over all flesh, that he should give eternal life to as many as thou hast given him. Okay? And this is life eternal, that they might know thee, the only true God. Woo! See, bang, Trinity's out, knock out, cold, gone, game over. And this is life eternal, that they might know thee, the only true power, God, and Yahawashi, whom thou hast sent. Yes. I have glorified thee on the earth. I have finished the work which thou hast givest me to do. See, now that also tells you he didn't come to destroy and tear up and take care of all the laws of the covenant. He came to fulfill what was written of him. That's why he said, I have glorified thee on earth, and I have finished the work which thou gavest me to do. And now, O Father, glorify thou me with thine own self, with the glory which I had with thee before the world was. In other words, when the Most High did his architectural design and brought forth the electrochemiluminescence, as I have said before, that particular substance he created with electrochemiluminescence, which is that light, that vibration light, that power. That's what they had. He created Yahawashi, and once he created Yahawashi, that design of that particular substance was what they carved everything that exists out of. Okay, let's get a clue. All right, okay, all right. Before the world was, I have manifested thy name unto the men which thou givest to me out of the world. See, now that's important, because he had to manifest the name, and that's the name they hidden. That's why the fake Jews say Hashem. They won't say Yahweh, because they know that they're not authorized to do it, and they will burn if they say that name. They don't want to mess with Yahweh's name, because they're not authorized to say it. He said, I have manifest thy name unto the men which thou gavest me out of the world. Thine they were, see, and thou gavest them me, and they have kept thy word. Thine they were. That means the Father predestined and chose them already. And because he says, thine they were, and thou gavest them me. So he knows exactly who he gave to Yahawashi, to who they even call Jesus. And they kept thy word. And thy word is, of course, the truth. And the truth is Yahawashi, because he is the living word. Okay. 7. Now they have known that all things whatsoever thou hast given me are of thee. See, they know that everything that the Most High gave to Yahawashi are of him. For I have given unto them the words which thou gavest me, and they have received them, and have known surely that I came out from thee. See, that tells you he came out from there. He was created by the Most High, right? Out from thee, all right? And they have believed that thou didst send me. Okay, 9. I pray for them. I pray not for the world, but for them which thou hast given me. For they are thine, and all mine are thine, and thine are mine, and I am glorified in them. So how is he glorified in those he gave? Because they are standing true to who the Father is in representing him and bringing forth the truth to everyone as he's supposed to, as the Yahawashi gave the example of that. Okay, so this is why it's so true all the way through, and they stood for that. And that's what you see the prophets doing today. And that's why Esau's losing his freaking mind, because he can't handle what is going on right now. Okay, all right. 11. And now I am no more in the world, but these are in the world, which we are still dealing with this, and I come to thee, Holy Father, he's talking to his Father, keep through thine own name those whom thou hast given me, that they may be one as we are. While I was with them in the world, I kept them in thy name. Those that thou givest me I have kept, and none of them is lost, but the son of perdition, that vessel of dishonor, that the scriptures might be fulfilled. There you go. So on that note, that was the last one I wanted to hit to give you this particular lesson here. And I hope it was edifying to you. Again, what we're doing is we're Obadiahing the warning to beware of Judas Iscariot type individuals, whether they be Hebrew Israelites, whether they just be red Hebrew Edomites, whether they be heathens of Moabites or Ammonites, or whatever flavor or version that the Most High created, because he created all things for his pleasure and for his goodness. And the process is that this transitional prophetic process is happening, and it's happening extremely fast. And then we don't know how much longer he's going to allow us to, the Most High that is, to bring the truth and the word to you. We're going to do the best to honor the Most High, because that's what it's all about. And I hope that this was edifying to you. And if you have comments, you do. If you don't, you don't. But let's pray that the Most High will give us some more as we move forward. So, and on that note, I want to say Shalom and Bapabal.